All right, troops.
Mark, good to see you again, big man. How you keeping on?
Good to see you, mate. It's been a long time.
In a galaxy far, far away.
It's been a galaxy maybe a bit too close for comfort. It's probably the better way of putting it. But yes, revisiting an uncomfortable old galaxy. Maybe that's the most accurate way of putting it. It's not been a great year, Andrew, but I think we're getting to a stage where it's getting better.
Yeah, definitely. We're getting to the stage where the year is coming to an end, so at least we can put this shit show of a year behind us and look to better things, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting to that nice cold weather stage as well. It's spooky season, which is my favourite time of year, and looking forward to getting some pumpkins carved with the kids, all that sort of stuff. So.
Well, in fairness, by the time this comes out, it'll be closer to the Christmas season as well, so we'll be like, oh, these are great.
Looking forward to getting some Santa-shaped pumpkins carved with the kids.
Yeah, hey, that's good. That could be a thing. There's Nightmare Before
Spooky
Christmas.
Santa. Absolutely. Nightmare. The eldest is already begging to get that watched as it is.
All right.
That was like a Christmas film.
So you're the ones that are like, no, it's a Christmas film. Deal with. Not on beforehand.
Yeah, and don't even get me started on Die Hard. That's absolutely a Christmas film.
Oh, I 100% agree with that one. Well, Die Hard, definitely. Die Hard 2, how's your thoughts on that one?
Die Hard 2, I think Die Hard 2 is a bit too mean-spirited to be a Christmas film.
Right.
And I've got a thing about films that are mean-spirited. There's a bit too much gratuitous pensioner shooting in Die Hard 2 for my liking. Films that revel in the kind of bloodshed of innocence. There's a couple of films that always stick out to me, and the first one is probably going to go down well with some of your listeners, but I have a soft spot for the Transformers films, the Michael Bay ones.
All right.
Don't get me wrong, I haven't seen them for a long, long time, and what it was Dark of the Moon put me off because I felt it was very mean-spirited. The first one's great. The first one's a really good nostalgia trip. You take it for what it is, you can get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Second one's objectively garbage, but you can still have a lot of fun with it. Third one I felt was very mean-spirited, and the bit that got me, I'm going to stop saying mean-spirited because I've repeated myself far too much. The bit that got me was I think it was the death of Ironhide by Sentinel Prime. Like they dwelled so much on it was quite clearly a horribly painful death. And Ironhide was obviously, if you're into like Gen 1 Transformers growing up as a kid, you've obviously seen Transformers the movie.
Yes.
And the absolute destruction that they wrought on that first generation. It was like, quick, new toys, get these ones murdered.
Yeah.
But they did it sort of almost offhandedly in that film, but it was the joy they took in the old Scottish Transformer getting executed in the streets of Chicago as well. I was like, this is fucking brutal.
Yeah, it was like
I hope you don't get monitored.
No worries. With the Transformers, the movie in 1986, at least he didn't show you Ironhide getting his face blown off by Megatron.
And melting.
Well, I mean, that was like, there was a few of them like that. Like, so you just see him crawling towards the leg. No, such heroic nonsense. Charges up the gun, but then it cuts to the shot of the actual ship.
Exactly.
So at least you didn't see that. They saved the group. They saved the real heart-wrenching moment for Optimus Prime, which still traumatizes me.
I mean, I've always it traumatizes me as well, because part of the thing you scare about, it's like when you start to desaturate, you think, Jesus, I'm going to say my Optimus Prime now.
The thing is, I think it's not just the fact that he died. It was the fact that my brother, for me at 6 years old, tied me to a chair and rewound that scene over and over again and made me watch it. It was like a saw trap from 1990s Airdrie.
I think the death of Optimus Prime is probably the least of your trauma in that situation.
Yeah. Well, I think I focused on that one to avoid the rest of the trauma that was around it.
I don't need to deal with the horrible reality of my brother abducting me and forcing me to watch some dangerous materials when I was that age.
Oh, well, that was the least of the problems. It was worse when he put me on my Thomas the Tank Engine, told me playset box, slid me down the stairs saying I could fly out the door like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone, not realizing there was a curve at the bottom of the stairs.
Well, that was your fault for not steering.
Yeah, well, it was my fault for believing that I could actually go straight ahead at a curve. There's a reason why I never took. There's a reason why I never took a trade. And of course, my dad's seen this a lot, and he wasn't concerned about the fact that, his youngest son had, potentially brain damage. He wasn't concerned that his oldest son was potentially a sociopath. He was concerned that my head dented his perfectly decorated wall.
That's just
him being a painter decorator.
Well, there you go. He takes pride in his work.
Yeah, he really did.
Less pride in the health of his children, but
yeah,
that was
less pride in the biological work that he done, and more in the actual physical house building work that he done.
But you think about it, he had to put years and years of training into that, the paint and decorator stuff.
Oh yeah,
giving birth to you and your big brother was just natural talent, and you didn't have to work at that.
Well, that's what we thought until he said we were adopted and it was a buy one get one free option. So Ansley wanted to know, who did they pay for?
I was just going to ask that.
Well, he's still not told us. I have a feeling it was Daniel because he had the more sporty aspects to him, right. whereas I had none of that. But now he looks at it as like, one son talks about Thomas the Tank Engine and one son talks about Transformers on the YouTube. What have I done with my kids?
Hey, but at least you're the one that's built the empire, so...
Yep. Darth Ginger is coming for you.
Jin Vader.
Jin Vader. Well, I'll definitely use that one because there was a guest we had on.
King.
We had a guest on Izzy Shaw, and I called her Darth Izzius. And she's like, I'm taking that one. And I'm like, well, fire away. That could be the next Saucier stand-up show, Darth Izzius.
Nice.
Anyway, I'm not the only one that built an empire. You've built your empire October 15. So, how's things been going with that? Since the last time we spoke?
I wouldn't say it was an empire. It's maybe a sort of corner shop, but it's getting there. We've got. I say we've. The three of us, there's me, Marco Rinaldi, Jimmy Johnson, and we're just sort of plodding along, getting tendrils out there, making contacts, dealing sort of backhanded deals, but it's not quite the thing. It's like a lot of stuff happened behind the scenes, as far as setting up projects and things like that go, and sort of building for the future. So I think we're in a really good place as far as getting things off the ground and moving forward with projects we've got. I dawned on me the other day that we've got 3 short projects that are in the pipeline, that are like one of which happening imminently, involving yourself, good sir. And once we get them off the ground, we literally maybe need like one other short, and we've got enough for an anthology feature. So we're kind of like, the ability to make a feature film has sort of crept up on us. So we're getting there, but we're still a small time outfit. But I think what separates us is that we've got a desire to push the boundaries of what we've got. As in, we don't have a lot of money, and we don't have a lot of resources, as like the top end cameras and stuff like that. But what we have got, we make work for us, and I think we make I think I've spoken to you about this in the past. It's like an unashamedly sort of Scottish type of film, where we like to make what you would maybe say is populist. We don't follow the industry trends of Scotland, which for years I've felt is a bit self-congratulatory. We're quite keen in this country to just pat each other on the back and hand out awards and let other people from outside come in and make the populist money-making stuff. And I think what we try to do, which is, I always tend to say that we kind of harken back to a kind of John Carpenter style of filmmaking, where you do it yourself, and then you just put it out there and you'll find that audience. And it's slowly starting to happen for us, whereas that's not necessarily how it's done in Scotland, if you know what I mean. I'm sure there are tons and tons and tons of independents out there in the country that are possibly feeling the same way. That there's not enough encouragement of homegrown talent. I think we tend to find as well when we're looking for things like a bit of financial help from things like the Scottish Government. There's the way it's worded and the way it's enacted is basically come for us for help if you don't need our help.
Mm-hmm.
Like be pre-established. Prove to us that you can make money and we'll give you money.
Yeah.
But how can I prove to you that I can make money when I need money to prove to you that I need to make money? And
yeah,
turn into Robocop too.
Yeah, and then it's also the whole fact that, like, I mean, we've been down this route before with them as well. Like, I remember what them say, what it was just that kind of wording around it, and it's like, prove you can make money, and then we'll give you money. And I'm like, okay, but how much money do I need to prove to you that I can make before you give me said money?
Well, it's always that sort of how it's written as commercially viable. Well, right, you want me, or you want us to make films that are proven commercially viable. You haven't fostered an environment that makes us able to make films that are commercially viable. Because of this, your films need to win awards. Award-winning films aren't necessarily the commercially viable ones. Again, it's you've done such a spectacular job, here's a BAFTA. But how much money did that film make?
Yeah.
So there's that paradox of we want you to make films that make money, but we also want to kind of pat you on the back and have this very worthy, overwrought sort of. Sorry, I'm rambling, but you know what I mean.
No, I know what you mean. It's like the way I kind of equate it to it is that I look at it as title doesn't dictate talent. Like you can say BAFTA award winning, but if you've not got the talent and the evidence to back it up in the first place, the title is meaningless. It's like when because there's no guy equivalent to this part. This is why I'm saying for the female part. So I apologize to any women that watch this. It's like when a woman separates and they have to choose between Mrs. and Miss, the MRS and the MS, and they're like, well, what exactly is the difference? But apparently there is one, even though it is literally taking one letter of a drop. So the title doesn't necessarily dictate the fact that that woman is still separated, but potentially viably shaggable. It's a blunt point. It's you know me, the brick to the face mentality, but you get what I mean when it comes to the industry standard of like that. You can say you've got this title to your name of I have done this and I won this. Yeah, but where's the evidence to back it up? And how did it do to prove that you're worthy of said title? It's only a handful of people's opinions that actually give you that title. It's not the populace.
I think that ties in as well with how I look at it as well. Is it's that whole process is like the equivalent of your cup and ball trick. The cups are what they tell you, and the ball is actually the money. So they're moving them around. They're like, well, you need to provide us with this amount of information. You need to show us that you're financially viable. Keep an eye on that ball, by the way. So they're moving it around. And it's like, well, are you a BAFTA award? Are you award nominated? What festivals have you been in? Keep an eye on that ball. And you're like, is it under that one that says that I have been to some festivals, but I haven't necessarily won some awards? And they left it up. Oh, sorry, no cup there. Try again next time. And it's honestly, it's a process I don't really want to play. I don't want to be involved in that. I'm quite happy slowly building up external contacts. Like I'm in talks with some people down in London who are absolutely fantastic. They're sort of finding their feet in the industry as well, but they've been successful elsewhere. So they're bringing that success from where they've been and applying it to how to move around in the industry, and they've got a fascination for that, how things work, but they've got that gift that they're not necessarily shaped by that industry to know what they should be doing or who they should be talking to or what sort of moves they should be making and who they're talking to about getting this, that, and whatever. They're just sort of like, why is it so difficult to make a film? You just get some cameras, you get a script, talk to some people, need a bit of money to pay for it, because obviously we all want to be paid for what we're doing.
Very
but
true.
it's not always a guarantee, which is why you get passionate people
Yep.
who
And it's also why
understand that.
it's also why you put in the subtitles, expenses covered.
Yes.
Mm.
But I think a side issue there is there's a tendency now to be wary of anybody who's saying that they can't
Yeah.
provide. Because I don't know, I don't put casting things on Facebook or anything like that anymore. I used to be involved in quite a lot of the actors and talent groups, and you put one statement up saying that you can't pay anybody, but expenses will be provided, and then it's just a laundry list of people coming down. Oh, don't trust them, scam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, it's just, I mean, we want to do something, but we can't afford to do it.
Yeah.
And the thing that always seems to get forgotten is that, do you know who else is working for nothing? Us.
Mm-hmm.
We're also putting time, effort, labour, sitting up to all hours, having to, like, for example, last week, sitting up, having to write a complete new script because you wanted to take advantage of the time that you had available to you.
Yeah.
Doing
Yep.
that for nothing. So, but me and folk like me are the unreasonable ones, because we don't expect people to come along and work for nothing. But a little bit of come and goes. Like, we're putting effort in here as well. We're just doing this because we're passionate about it.
Yeah.
And obviously, passion can only get you so far. Passion doesn't pay bus fares. Passion doesn't pay taxis or rent.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all in that same boat. And if we can help lift each other up, instead of being crabs in a barrel and pulling everybody else down,
Yeah.
we can actually get something really cool done.
Yeah. And
I
that's
hope
why I've always loved, like, seeing your work and keeping in contact with you and stuff, because it's the same type of mentality that the content creator kind of circle, like, like in my own little circle, we have, like me and Kev, we're like, what, you have to find the people that know, right, we're doing a project, it's not going to be easy, it's not going to be overnight success, but if you're passionate about doing it, there will be something that will come to you down the line. It might not be much, like, for example, like what, we've got 3 channels monetized, but we only finally got paid from YouTube for this year, like at time this recording, October. So it's been a long time where I've had to say to Kev to keep pumping out content and keep, like, doing these reviews, like getting people on as guests and doing all this kind of stuff for basically bog all. And then I have to go into the back end and go, right, now we've got the money, this is how much he made, and I can now give him it. And sadly, it's not much. And that's what breaks my heart. But it's the whole point of, like, he believed in it for the get-go and thought, well, he's onto something. He's given me a chance to do something and start something again. We've got to do it. And it's why we gravitated, like, in particular to you guys. You had the same mentality as us. Will something come down the line? Of course it will, because you're fucking talented, mate. You, Jimmy, and Marco you're a great unit. You're in the nicest way the Three Stooges of Glasgow for independent filmmaking.
Listen to Glasgow, son. We're Ayrshire boys.
Well, we'll say first time I interviewed you, you were in Glasgow, so there you go.
No having news Ouija's claiming us.
Well, in fairness, I'm a brig boy. I'm North Lanarkshire, so I'm the same deal. Like, they'd be like, you're no actually one of us. You just say it when it's convenient. But it's the same kind of deal. Like, we liked you. You've got the same style as us. You just want to get the shit done. And if something happens afterwards, it happens. If it doesn't, at least we got it done. So many people are held up with the wanting to get it done and have all this that they never actually get round to doing it. You guys do it.
Yeah. It's not always easy. I mean, like, you've seen with the project that we're working on together this past month or so, things just happen. Things kind of fall to bits a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially now that, like, we're all family men and we've all got shit happening in our lives. It's not anywhere near as easy as it used to be, and it was by no means easy back then.
Yeah.
But I think it's a provable point that you're making about the passion and the desire to get things done. There's not one point where you think, let's just sack this, let's just not do it, and we'll wait and see if something better comes along, because nothing as better is going to come along. You've got to make it.
Yeah, because if you look at, like,
for the decisions that get made.
Yeah, and you look at what we were planning and working on. The only thing that stopped us was a massive, like, hurricane that decided to come along
Yeah.
and totally fuck us up. So well,
Yeah.
we were already, it was just whatever's up there decided, nah, not today, guys. What, you're kind of fucked. But it fucked everybody.
Again,
It fucked
yeah.
everybody up with different interesting industries and stuff as well. The weather just went, okay, you're screwed. People were rowing down like Ireland Main Street in canoes.
Aye, we got off pretty lightly.
Yeah,
but
we done not too bad.
There's a lot to be said as well for like divine intervention, because obviously the conversation we've been having the past week, there's things that maybe we could have improved on, and that we are currently improving on. Little things like costumes, where yeah, we're all skint, but like, if we do a bit of saving, some scrimping here and there, we can pull in just these tiny little extra bits that will go so far into elevating the film production wise, like production design wise, I should say. And it gave me that extra bit of time to think that, like, say for instance, there's a scene where two guys enter a large sort of warehouse thing and they see something at the end of it and it's empty. And I thought, well, in retrospect, that kind of doesn't make sense. So I'm looking now at getting some laptops, a fold-out table, some guys to lie around on the floor as if they've been murdered. And this is all new information for you as well, Andrew. So,
hey,
but,
I love Ginger exclusives. I've not had Ginger exclusives in a while.
But there you go. So that's the thing. Like we've been lucky enough to not have to film for those 2 days, because now the film is going to be better in the long run because we have that extra bit of time to plan. Because I mean, the first project that fell through was great and it would have been fantastic to do, but it was just so far on the side of too much short notice and far too production design heavy, what with costumes and props, etc. This one's a production design / prop / costume heavy design as well, but the locations are sort of 90% what's going to make this film, and obviously performances in that as well. So the actual project itself is going to be better off because, again, things out with our control are causing me to have to turn around and sort of reassess where to go with it, and it's just going to make it better. So yeah. I'm really looking forward. We're just waiting on Jimmy getting back to us with dates that he's going to be available, and then we can get things organised, and we'll maybe look at not necessarily doing it all in a one, but maybe if we can get 2 or 3 days one week and then follow it up with 2 or 3 days another week, I think that's more than enough time to get us covered for what we actually need to get done.
Yeah, definitely. And again, like, for the fact that you wrote that script basically in one night, the script that we're talking about, like, I was like, that was fucking brilliant.
Thank you very much, man.
Well, I looked at it and I'm like, man, that would take me like ages to even just get it done and be like, okay, firing it on. I mean, remember when I sent you the script about like the top chuggers? If you know audience, you know. What it took me ages to write that down, and then it took me ages to actually get the balls to send it to you, because I was like, he's gonna, will he laugh in my face or will he not? And I'm like, well, you wouldn't be thinking about sending it to him if he did. And then that mental back and forth in your head before I actually went, just send the fucker. He's gonna be honest with you one way or the other. Bump, off you go. So the fact you'd be able to blast that out in one night, get it out to us. I read it, just sitting on the couch, my hot chocolate, my wee Auntie Gina blanket wrapped around me, and I'm like, I'm loving this. I'm like, just sat, and it was just that wee perfect moment. I'm like, I'm reading a script in a house, and the script's brilliant, and it's somebody that I know and I respect. That was
respects you.
Yeah,
it was like to want you to be involved.
Yeah, it was a little thing. It was just like, it's a massive day brightener for me.
Good, man. I'm good, because we all need that. And say that I write because I enjoy writing, and I've made films because I enjoy making films. But see, that sort of positive feedback, it's fantastic. And I don't think I've seen a time where I've been like, oh no, come on, like being humble about it. I think you can take compliments. There's far too much self-deprecation, and I think that, especially amongst a certain type of man, like myself and yourself, where we seem so averse to taking compliments about things that deep down we know we're good at.
Yeah.
So very much been the case of like, see, if like yourself, Jimmy, Marco, all been extremely complimentary about that script. And I'm like, you know what? Thank you very much. I worked hard on it. I feel good about it. So it's very reassuring to get that kind of feedback from people that you know and trust. I mean, Jimmy's been my go-to guy since for the best part of 15 years now. We've been working together, and there's nobody I trust more with that sort of stuff, like creatively. In fact, I think that's in one text I sent him last week. I told him he was my creative soulmate, and it's absolutely true. He's able to read my stuff and get it, and because I was describing to him the idea as I was writing it, and he's saying, "Oh, is there a monster there? Like, is he doing it this, and this?" And he listed off things, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm literally writing it right now." So he gets it. Jimmy, I think I'll say this in every single interview or anytime I talk about my working relationship with Jimmy. I mean, he's my brother. I love him, but he's so fantastic. I think the guy comes up with ideas in his sleep.
Yeah.
Like if he sleep wrote, he'd have a pen in his hand and he'd be writing down ideas. They just flow out of him, and not everyone's amazing, but 99% of them are. And it's just getting, if we got him in the right avenue, and I think that's why we work so well together, is because I can see his ideas and he'll rattle off a load of stuff and I'm like, yes, I really like that. And that's how it works with my scripts as well. I'll give them to him to read and he's like, love it, but what if we did that? What if you looked at that way? And I'm like, aye, absolutely, you're totally right. So I think back to your point about wanting to get your script out there and get it read by people, I think it needs to be people you trust, people who will be honest with you. You find somebody like Jimmy who's not only creatively superb in his own right, but he knows exactly what to do and how to tell you whether your ideas are shite or there's enough in there to work with, or where he just outright loves it or hates it. He'll always tell you, he'll always be honest with you, and he'll never make you feel bad about it.
Yeah.
You'll always be thankful. So you get somebody like that on board, and I was happy to be that guy for you on the Chuggers script, because there was far too much. I think I said to you at the time, there's a community out there that just loves to pull everybody else down because they're so insecure about what they do themselves.
Yeah.
And if I thought that script was shite, I would have told you. But it wasn't. It was a perfect example of pushing a joke to its limit, crossing the line to where you think, oh, this isn't funny anymore. But committing to it, then it becomes funny again. So you knew that. Half the folk, in fact, the majority of the other folk that you sent that script to and read that script didn't know that. They thought they knew. They thought they were experts. They thought they knew what they were doing. But they didn't. They just wanted to be better and pull somebody else down to be on the same level as them. And that's maybe a broad generalisation, but fuck it, I'm in that kind of mood.
Yeah. Well, and again, it made sense because when I sent it to you, I wasn't a downer with that because I thought it's not good. Because of that feedback that I got, and you were like, no, they just don't get what you were trying to convey. I do, and you done it well. And I really appreciated that.
The thing to remember as well is, and you'll be aware of that as well with the content you provide, is that not everybody's going to get what you do.
Yeah.
There is a very specific tone to what you do and to what we do as well. When we try and branch it and do different things, I think it's not giving too much away, but saying like the vampire thing was very different to anything I've ever written, probably, even to like dialogue. I mean, Jimmy read it and he was like, I had to remind myself that it was you that wrote it because it's so different to things that we've done before. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
It's finding your audience, and I think you're doing a great job of that.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. And as we are starting to come up on time, for anybody that didn't watch the first episode, first of all, go and watch it after you've watched this. And secondly, get the promotions. Tell them where they can find October 15. Sell it, my friend.
Right, yeah, down to youtube.com/October 15. You will find it. We've got films on there like A Letter from Perdition. We've got films on there like Sometimes. We've got a film on there called Pish, which is very popular. They're all very different types of films. Yeah. based on the Glasgow urban myth about Pish balloons, basically attack weapons. I made a wee. It wasn't a mockumentary. It wasn't a spoof documentary because it's a real thing. But I made a little documentary about it years and years ago when I was at uni, and I thought that'd be such a great concept for a wee spoof horror film. So we spoofed the Italian Giallo films. I got my daughter involved, got Marco involved. We just filmed it around the town and thought it'd be a great idea for a bit of laugh to dub it as well. So it was just very funny. So search any of those, you'll find my stuff. My logo is like a triangle with 80s style October 15 written on it. It's very distinctive. You will find it. We are there.
Yes.
Get those subscribers up for us because we're currently sitting, I think, at 417, which is great for us. It's more than I ever thought we'd get.
Yeah, but you deserve more.
Aye, thank you. I think we do.
You deserve more, and you'll find the logo because it will be on the thumbnail of this video. The links will be in the description as well, and you'll see a little thing popping up saying October 15. So you even know how to spell it. I'm covering all bases here.
Unlike me when I first set up the Facebook page for it, I spelled it October 15, and it took me about 11, 12 months to notice that I'd fucked up the spelling on it.
Yeah, I think it's
so typical of me.
I think after a certain point, then you're like, do I keep it because people now know it and they'll have searched October 15, or do we change it to teen and see how we go?
Because on films like The Quiet Season, I think I just copied and pasted it. So on the actual film itself, at the address at the end, it says October 15. I don't think I've changed that. So it's like, fuck.
Yeah. It's like when I sometimes do things for the Ginger engine, and I'll notice that maybe I've left the shift key on a bit too long, and it's G and I are both capital letters, and then it's Ginger, and I'm like, oh right, interesting. Especially if you're doing like an Instagram handle where caps locks and everything are so important to finding things.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, Mark, man, it's been an absolute pleasure having you back on. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on, man. I'm sad that it's going to be your last season, but I'm looking forward to the Frasier style revival in 10 to 20 years.
We're thinking it's going to be like a Bob Dylan thing where it says it's like, like the final tour and it just keeps going until it naturally stops.
The Ginger Stones.
Just see me just like drugged at my nut like a guitar, just standing, like I'm not even playing, I'm not even saying anything, I'm just waiting for everything to stop. You don't know if I'm actually dead. I don't care. Mark, man,
but
pleasure.
Hey, still producing the content.
Oh yeah, well the Rolling Stones are. We don't know if any of them actually made that album, but it's a fucking blinder.
Don't get the content. Don't get the content, man. Junkie.
Yeah. Absolutely brilliant, man. Pleasure speaking to you as usual, and I'm just looking forward to doing more work with you. Thank you so much.
It's coming soon, brother. Right, you take care. All the best.
Same to you. Take care. Stay safe.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.